watching Hex News. What's up, everybody? Today we have some special guests. Well, we have the normal guest, Explosive Artist. Then we have the great K4K Crypto. He is here today.
He's in the house.
The great? Wow. When did I earn that suffix?
The great and powerful.
In on his Jimmy Neutron little rocket ship. Hopefully you enjoyed the thumbnail. I try to do a thumbnail great for whoever comes on. And
I like. Did you add in the little patchiest beard possible to that picture?
I did.
Or was that like from the show? Like I never seen
I
that.
didn't see it. Like he grew up. It's like he grew up.
Oh my!
No, I put that in there.
I was such a subtle detail. I was like, did he? Wait a minute.
Yeah, he always got to hide the Easter eggs in there.
It's a little tiny.
I thought that was so cool. I was like, no way. The littlest troll. Most people won't even notice, but I guess they will now because we talked about it.
Right now that you pointed it out. So yeah, we just we try to come on here, talk to some of the OGs. I guess are you an OG? Before Big Payday, what's your day one guy?
Yep, I even made several clips back in the day without my face, like because that's why if you see my channel, it says like created December 2019. So that's whenever I created it, and I made those. I made these how to get into the adoption amplifier, like 3 best things about Hex, stuff like that. But I didn't. It just has my voice, and I have them unlisted now because I may have had some doxing stuff in there. So I was like, let's just hide those.
Oh,
and yeah, so then like a year and a half later or so, in November just last year, started making my content because I was like, I'm gonna be in this community for so long, and I love all these other content creators, and Richard tells people to make more content, and I'm like, well, I'll just throw my ideas out there and see how it goes. And it was like everyone's like, more stuff. So all right, I guess I will.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was it's pretty crazy that you came in. So you said last when was it that you started streaming?
November, I believe.
Oh, okay. So it's not even been.
I was gonna say
in less than a year. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. That's good for.
But I've seen you almost everywhere. I feel like you're kind of another one of those guys that's kind of been everywhere as far as different streams and.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm trying to get as much content out there. Because it's like Richard says, outbound messaging. If I make 1 video a week, that's worse than 7 videos a week or 30 videos a week. So I'm working with some guys who are they're passionate about this community as well, but they kind of want to stay more anonymous. But like I have like an editor now who wants to see my channel grow with me because I was like one of the first videos he ever saw after the hex.com website video, like the growing of the trees and wait till they're full grown and then you just have 15 year planters. And then his next video was seeing like my first video on my channel where I talked about my Hex journey from a laptop that's making way too much noise error in the background. Dude, that was the quality. So now we're up to like a cool camera and stuff. So yeah, it's been a fun journey the whole way, and I loved the Vegas trip for the Hex conference.
Yeah,
that's where we met the first time.
I think I met you out there.
Yeah. We didn't get to have like the longest conversation or anything, but it was like,
there was like 1,000 people. That I was like, okay, I'm on with that. It's so hard to talk because it's like not only that, you usually you got the music, and it's like, hi, how are you? Okay, great. I'm gonna go to somebody's like, hey, It's like, oh geez, okay, well I'll go. So I try. It's so hard. It is really fun. It is really fun. Have you heard that we're doing the meetup in
Disney World,
Florida?
Well, it's going to be in Florida. We're probably going to go to Universal because we did it a couple years ago, and it was.
I want to go to that.
Because you want it? Okay, so you should come. It's fun because there's no music. It's like you walk around, you sit in line anyway, and you just like.
Perfect.
You get to sit there and talk to guys, and then you get to go on a ride. And usually by then, it's like you get to talk to a group of people because it's like. You got switched up or whatever during the ride. So it's like, it's kind of like a good way to kind of,
you bonded to talk.
It makes sense though. Cause I think I saw the stream where you mentioned that, or maybe you mention it all the time, but the one I saw, you mentioned it. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that. Like you guys, I missed the first Vegas conference, or where you guys met up and did the tank thing and all that. And I was like,
I did too.
Wow, you guys it's just cool because the Hexikins are all together doing something. It doesn't really matter what they're doing. We could do the world's largest like mini golf game or something. Like it would just be fun because everybody's talking and just, you know, it's just so much fun being around like-minded people in the same space, making a difference, you know?
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And it's really, you know, I like talking to the people that are like-minded, have things in common, and usually it turns into not even Pulse, you know?
Yeah. It's not always crypto related. So it's
crypto,
you learn a lot about people and where they come from. Like I'm talking to people from Germany, Slovenia, like it's all around the world. I've never been, I guess I was uncultured before, probably. You know? gotta experience more. So it's exciting to me, you know?
So you got in day one. Were you a day one FOMO boy, or are you a?
Oh, you know it. You're like, you're waiting. We were waiting so long. We were waiting so long. You think I'm just gonna miss the first day to have I'm not waiting for that t-shirt rate to go up. I thought it was a bigger deal back then as well. Like I kind of looked into it and I was like, well, just for posterity, I'll put some in the first day, and it did it over like first few weeks, you know.
Yeah, that's how I was. I got stupid on the first day, and then it was like you look at it and you're like, oh wow, I forgot that this is going to go on for the next 364 more days, you idiot.
Like, wow, tomorrow we're going to increase the supply by 50%. Next day, increase it by 30%, because it was just like there's a billion, then there's 500 million more. It was it should have been so obvious from and he showed us the EOS chart because that's how it happened.
He warned everybody.
It was so obvious, but the FOMO pants were real back then, because you know,
especially if you've been waiting that long, like you said.
It would have been a long time, and plus there was no sacrifice, so it was like all your money was just been sitting there for however long you've been sitting there. Like, please release it. You know, with PulseChain, it's at least like you sacrifice, you're gonna get something the first day, no matter what the price is. Like, you can buy it, but who knows what the price is gonna be?
Like it was perfect. Wasn't like it like the perfect time to like start that adoption amplifier? Wasn't ETH was like at the bottom, it was like $80 or something. I remember getting ETH. I was like, I couldn't believe it got back down to this price. And then it wasn't there very long, and it started just going up.
The COVID dip, I remember it on stream, it hit another $80. I can't remember what it was. Okay. It was pretty cheap when the adoption amplifier opened up. It was probably like $100. It wasn't that much.
I still remember watching some of your streams. Like I'm not gonna lie and say I watched every stream, but I definitely tuned into like every once in a while. I would turn it on. I was staying with somebody back then in 2020, and we would just throw your show on, and I'd be on my laptop looking at other cryptos and looking around. There was lots of food coin farming back then. I remember I was in or maybe I shouldn't say, but there was like, especially with
they're probably not around anymore.
No, they are not. I should have lost all of my money. I should have, dude. Every single food coin I got into is at 0 now, but I got out before they went to 0. Some of them had admin keys, didn't know about them. They scammed the next day after you get out. You're like, wow,
I got that one.
Oh man, it was so crazy. Like I remember sushi coming out. Like that's a food coin. It's still around though, you know.
I remember that.
Yams. What happened to Yams?
Yams got wrecked. That one
got rugged.
What happened to
Pickle Finance? Remember Pickle Finance?
Yes, Pickle Finance. I was in the kimchi one. There was what else?
I had a coworker recommend the Sea Rocket one.
Oh,
at work. I was like,
no, but it was like the craziest thing though, because it was unbelievable that like liquidity farming was a new thing, like Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi, Yearn.finance. You were able to like use these algorithm. You'd deposit coins and you'd earn like this yield because of people would come up with strategies that the contract would go and execute. It was It was probably not safe at all, but it was so new that you only had to be in for a little bit and early, and you would get like multiples of these coins sometimes just by having liquidity in there. If you're the first guy, you get 100% of the block reward each time of how many of these coins are. And sometimes they're worth like several dollars each at the start for some reason. I don't know. It was like the craziest thing ever. I wouldn't recommend anyone do that. Not safe.
It's like, it's definitely a gamble. Like if you're going to play with it, it's like, dude, play with like 0.5% of what you're playing with, you know, and maybe that 0.5% could go up 100 or 10, 10,000x in a couple of days. But it's like, it is very very
high risk.
very
I mean, I never threw like my whole
risk.
stack into anything or anything like that, but you're playing with some money back then, and it's now if you think about how much the market's gone up since then, you're like, oh wow, any money that was lost is actually multiples more if you would have just kept it safe.
So, something good, Hex or that's why I try to tell people. I'm just like, guys,
don't mess around with these other stuff.
It's like somebody asks you, well, I'm too late on Hex, but what should I get into? It's like, please just get into Hex, man. You're the type of person
made money on this. This coin. It's like,
or people are like,
once in a while.
or they ride like one pump up because people are like waiting for more down, and they're like, I'm in, and then it's like, we might see lower, so I hope you didn't go all in, and hope you can withstand another 50% drop of your bag.
Dollar cost averaging is like what people should be doing. It's like, guys, with Hex, it's like, the people that got in 40 or 50 cents, it's like, that's why you dollar cost average, man. Like, you don't just throw all of your money in one freaking pump, because you have no idea what's going to happen. You should put it in like, I'm going to put in $100 this week, $100 next week.
Regardless of price.
No idea.
Because they can multiply so much. Like, people were like, putting $50 in. You're like, what's that going to do? And you're like, well, $100 in Hex made you a millionaire.
Right. Well, exactly. Well, that's the thing is, like, for me, I dollar cost averaged in for the adoption amplifier. But the first day I put 50% in, and the second day I put 50% of that. So I put 25 of my stack. But then for the rest of the 100 days after that, I put in like a small amount, and it's it actually did really, really well. Well, it probably would have been better if I would have been like, hey,
don't even think about it, or you'll just kick yourself all day. Every time you think about it, your brain's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm pretty I mean, it's all right, but I mean, I just do business well, exactly.
How long did you go? Was it 573 days?
572 and 24 hours.
The first person that has overshot the day.
I said 73.
Is it like 365 days? I'm like, no, it's 572 and 24-hour shoot. I have to tell people, because I'm like, it was every single day when we were going like this for like a good year. People don't realize that we went from like 0.003 to 0.007 for like a good, it was a good year. And it was just like, please go up. Please. We'd get the occasional 1 penny, and then it would come right back down, and then it would be like, so it was pretty rough there for a while. But
it's rough whenever it's just like that bump and run bottom of the market for whatever coin you're in, where you're like, well, this is the doldrums. It's supposed to be boring. How do we make this fun? There's a reason everybody's gone. It's people they get bored. They cannot wait. They want to do something with their money. They're like, oh, it's not being productive here. Better put it over here. Oh, lost it all. How productive was that?
That's why I'd say some of the new guys don't realize about T-shares, because it's like T-shares are actually what's paying us out, and why you see, everybody wants to complain about the OGs and they have all the money, and it's like, because we know what T-shares are. Like, you have to wait like 2 or 3 years.
With a lot of
actually, you can't be up like so let's say you got it in September of last year because you bought the top. It's like, we all bought the top, and we waited for years, like probably 2 years before, you start cashing out, because you had to wait for all the, for not only because your Hex, your interest, it took that long. Like, you should have been, most of these guys, I'm guessing, are just sitting.
It's a bigger game,
waiting for the lottery pump.
To
happen. They're gonna get, they could just be getting into
it's like a dangerous habit spiral, because it's like, well, if I just trade it and I'll get a 2x, then I'll put it back into Hex. Then it's like, oh, aren't you gonna do that again later? Like, when's your line? You're like, you only do it once. Nobody. It's it's the game.
I'm gonna get into this coin and just get out, and then I swear I'm putting it back in Hex. It's like, sure, dude, okay,
and you'll see some guy who posts his trades. He's all bragging about them, but you don't see all the ones he deletes ever.
Exactly.
And it's like, people think these people are like perfect traders. You're like, I'll just copy trade them. Oh, they lost on this one. That's weird. And then you see the tweets deleted.
And then they delete them.
and you're wrecked. It's just, you're wrecked. And you're like, oh man, these margin trade link sharing people are like, that's so crazy to me. I'm never gonna have a margin trade link ever.
I'd be paranoid.
God. I can't even. Yeah, I can't believe like some of these guys just feed their crowd
guts.
right to the slaughter, dude. They are seriously just be like, here you go, come on in, go right into the BitMEX. It's just so gross.
It is the meat grinder. It's crazy. I love that Richard developed this. I'm kind of scared after seeing this Tornado Cash thing, though. You guys seen that?
Yeah,
I have seen it.
Arrested the guy who wrote the code, and
I heard that he wrote the code, but he was also helping North Korea. Like,
is it the same guy?
I think it probably is the same guy. So it might be like like you probably shouldn't be helping North Korea kind of thing. But I'm, I think it's gross anyway.
Well, maybe he
can do whatever they want. He's a private citizen. He can do whatever he wants. I think.
I wonder what they were paying him, because I doubt he was like, you know what, I'm gonna do with my Saturday, fly to North Korea, help out the old King John, no. So they must have been paying him or something. Like,
I mean, I don't know. We're not arresting Dennis Rodman for going over there and playing basketball or anything. We're just arresting developers,
for selling some basketball tickets.
Well, it's still weird because they did ban the software basically. So are DEXs next? That's the scary thing.
Well, that's what I keep thinking. Yeah, I'm like nobody. Yes, exactly. They can.
I hope PulseX has many front ends, but the problem is. It's that chilling effect. So now that they see, we're running open source software kind of links you to possibly getting wrecked later, like with no due process, they're just like, you know what, it's legal now, so you're in trouble.
It's like now you're going to jail.
So people are less likely to want to develop this stuff now. They're kind of like slowing down innovation and development. So
plus the government has no clue about crypto, generally speaking. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard. They have a hard time articulating what their goals are or why somebody is even violating a law,
They say they're going to say it's some sort of money laundering, which I'm guessing that Uniswap can be looked at the exact same way. Or any type of cryptocurrency in that aspect. I mean, you can buy cryptocurrency, send it to another wallet, and be somewhat anonymous at least. I mean, I like that people are starting to well, maybe I'm not liking, but how they're dusting people's Logan Paul's and Zuckerberg.
Did you see that
really?
Did you see that guy who can't use Justin Sun got sent 0.1 blacklisted ETH, so now he can't use Aave, so he's like tagging the Stan guy, Stanny or whatever his name is, who is in charge of Aave. Because it's like, why don't I saw also in the comments, they're like, why don't you just send some of that blacklisted ETH to the developers of Aave? They can't access their own.
Wow.
Exactly. So it's like
so silly.
They don't realize what they're doing. They just it's a harsh law. They just say you can't use this, and then they don't realize like, well, now you're making it so they can just dust every single person's wallet and really just to stop the crypto game in general. But I mean,
hopefully they realize like, we can't ban everyone. Like,
wait a second, these people are our friends on this list.
It's crazy.
How did you like the Jordan Belfort stream? Did you watch it?
It was good. I did see it. It was weird. What, like the beginning audio quality? I was watching it while it was premiering, and it was like really junky, and then it got really good towards the end, and it was fine. But
really?
Same.
So
I watched it after the premiere, and it was actually decent. My wife was saying the same thing. She said that Jordan Belfort's was really low, and she couldn't hear him. And I watched it after the premiere happened later that day, and it was decent. I heard that the audio quality was pretty bad.
I would say like from halfway between the start and middle, if you start there and onward, it's better, like the better content, I guess. Richard actually gets to like talk mostly there. The beginning, like the Wall Street guys like telling an old story or something. I couldn't even understand him. So I was
Oh really? It was that bad?
I think it was because it was premiering as I watched it. So I don't think it was like, I think it might be fine now, so you might be able to enjoy the whole thing.
I think they so Jordan Belfort, like we watched the Wolf of Wall Street just the night before, and it's like, if you haven't watched it, it's really good. But
you watched it right before? I should have done that.
I had to. I had to, because I was like, I
never saw it either.
Before, but my wife never watched it, and it's really good. It's
it is good. Yeah, it's super long, isn't it? It's like 3 hours.
It's 3 hours. Yeah. It's 3 hours.
Dude, you know what was really funny? I laughed out loud whenever Richard's like, they're making a movie about me. and this and that and that. And then Jordan's like, oh, who'd you get to play you?
Yeah.
Because he didn't act in his own film.
Myself.
Richard is. But I mean, it's more like a documentary. We just say movie because it's cooler.
Right,
but, So the guy was like, oh, who'd you get to play you? That's me.
That's so funny.
Richard Hart's an actor now.
I like that one because I used to listen to Jordan Belfort. It was crazy back in the day. I never saw the movie, but I used to appreciate like some of his sales advice and stuff like that. I thought he had a
Mario Johan wants us to discuss the Tornado Cash situation about the sacrifice wallet sent to Tornado Cash. What happens next? Well, I don't think that. I think it's not a proactive thing. I think that they're going to say like, right now you can't use Tornado Cash and then so forth. I don't think that they're going to ban addresses that have ever used it before.
Dude, I saw the craziest statistic kind of thing for what kind of violations of money laundering we've had in the past, and then like what were the violations, and then how much was the fine, was there any arrests, anything like that. And it was going through, it was like, oh, this was a 280 billion laundering found by these companies over these several years. They paid like $1 billion in fine for 280 billion and no arrests. Okay. And then it went on to this other bank that did even more, and then it's no arrests throughout all these ones. Oh, this one, like, what is it? Tornado had less than $1 billion of like mixing in it or something, and then it gets arrested. Like, like what is this precedent? It's so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there is any precedent, because even like the Wolf of Wall Street thing, like he went to jail, and it's like you watch that movie and you're like, dude, this guy is doing some shady stuff, and he got like 4 or 5 counts of money laundering. He was taking it to Swiss banks. It's like, dude, he did everything to money launder and like do all this shady stuff, and he gets 3 or 4 years, and then he's banned from ever starting a company ever again like that. But it's like really
money off the movie, I would imagine.
I feel like at that point, it's basically he knows so many people, he doesn't even have to have money,
Right.
You really don't have to have like something yourself or own it. If you have the networking and enough friends, you can own like a lot of things, in a way.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yes.
Like you don't, if you have a really nice neighbor, you don't always need the super fancy snowblower in the wintertime. He has it. He'll just let you have it. What a nice guy.
Yeah.
You guys are good friends. If you're nice to them, they're nice to you. It's just a better world when we're
all
one
nice hand washes the other.
But yeah, the tornado thing is, I think it's like still unfolding, with all this, like, the other stuff that maybe it's just because I'm tuned in so much that I just see it and maybe it's normal. But there's so many exchanges getting attacked by the SEC now, and they're like throwing the glove out at them and like, oh, we're going to investigate this exchange, all at the same time. It's almost like a coordinated effort. That's what it feels like, to kind of let's get all the information we can. We don't want, because if there really is true anonymity that's unstoppable out there, I don't think the government wants that if they can stop it early. Because they kind of just showed that it can be stopped or halted somewhat. We'll see.
Well, I think that with the exchanges, I think that they were, there is a lot of exchanges that are doing some shady things. Like Binance, dude, they've got to be doing something shady.
Oh,
but they're the only ones that probably, it's like all
they're
these
guys fractionally reserved and everything. They don't even have your coins, probably. It's like,
that's the thing. It's like, I see why the SEC is doing it, and I don't agree with everything the SEC does, but look how many exchanges are also like just stealing people's money. Just be like, oops, sorry, it was a hack. It was hacked. $280 million. Yeah, see you later. Not your coins, not your keys, right, guys? My money. And it's like, were they even hacked, or was it actually just they stole your money and just been like, we're looking at liquidity right now, the liquidity problem.
We're troubleshooting right now.
Stole everybody's money, dude.
Or these really fancy plays that some exchanges do where they're like, oh, we lost 100 million, and then a day later they're like, oh, we got 80 million back. You lost 20 million. Like, who got that? It's probably the same people. They just make it sound better so people brush over it. Oh, they got most of it back. That's a good news story.
I don't believe any of them got hacked. I think that a lot of them, I think that they just steal people's money and just are like, yeah, sorry, we got hacked. And it's like, when you have that much money, how easy is it to just be like, yeah, it's hacked? Nobody even questions them anymore.
If you're in their shoes,
like it's just like, yeah, whatever. No, it was a hack. It's like
I guess you can call someone if you want, but
So I don't like, you know, the SEC prying into crypto is lame, but it's like also, you know, we got people just straight up stealing, which is why you just should be holding your own.
Yeah, that's
your own coin.
First principles of crypto. Hold your own keys, or you don't own it. Like, that's it.
The bank is going to steal your money. It's like if you deposited your money and they always were stealing people. Like random banks would just be like, "Oops, sorry, we hacked. We stole all of your money." Well, like you probably would be not using the bank that much, you know.
Yeah, it's still crazy
like they
how
do in
much
the drug world too.
Yeah, it's crazy still how much the Fed rate controls the values of everything. Like we wish crypto was uncorrelated, but so much of the world likes dollars and they don't know any better, and so crypto crashes too. It's just that when they do eventually want to print more money, because why wouldn't they want to print more money? They're going to. It's going to make everything else rise up. So at least we still have that to look forward to, you know, whenever the bull market comes. Bull market just basically means like, yeah, we're outpacing everyone else who's getting screwed. Like that's it. It's like super sad, but
that's true.
You either play the game or you get run over, kind of. It's I wish it wasn't that way, but that's how it is, and we can't really change it till we have enough people and capital and a way to deploy it all, you know.
Yeah, it's I mean, the thing is like there has to be an exchange to offboard, and so it's like we all understand there has to be, but if you're on one of these things for more than 10 minutes trying to get your money off, like you're playing with fire, you know. You're trying to trade on these things, and it's like, dude, you're gonna get burnt one of these times, and all of your coins are gonna be gone. It's like playing, you know, it's like playing in one of these meme tokens or any of these tokens where you're just like, I know it's not going to be the thing, but I'm going to wait for that pump to go up, and then that's when I'm going to exit out. But usually it's like right before you plan on selling, it goes to zero, and you're like, no, no.
Wojak tells me stories about that.
Oh my gosh. Exactly. Oh, that's I mean, you bring up Wojax. I remember posting my clips and stuff to biz forums back then, because crypto is like, they talk about crypto on the 4chan biz. I don't go there anymore. Such a waste of time.
Oh, dude, it's bad. It's bad.
So I can imagine. The real crypto space is crazy. I can only imagine.
Well, it's just all memes and just like
it's so hardcore memes. Like
not even you got, and then you got to look at so many wieners and like, you're just like, all right, oh yeah, dude, you're just like scrolling, you're like, just scroll away until you can post. Okay, posting, and then you're like, you back off, you know, because then it's like Richard Hart is a scammer and like straight hardcore. You know, there's no like censoring over there. You're not gonna get banned, so you got to have like a real thick skin to be on 4chan.
You ever get caught by Hexners over your shoulder while you're on that website, and you're like, oh no, it's not what it looks like.
It's research.
No, I'm researching.
You know, she's back in the day, because that dude before crypto, I was like on 4chan all of the time. Like
I would have never guessed that by looking at you, dude. Ever. I'd be like, oh yeah, this guy goes to 4chan. No,
he's a computer.
Oh yeah, dude, that was my jam. Like way back in the day, like poll and /B or random or whatever. Oh yeah, dude.
I only ever went to biz just for the crypto stuff, just because there really was like sometimes every once in a while you feel like you found some like gem information like early, and you're like, wow, I'm glad I was here, but most of it's just worthless.
Well, yeah, anybody can post unless your IP is banned, which is like everywhere. You know, you try to, because I would always try to VPN in, and every VPN that I used was always banned. The IP was banned.
Oh wow!
For posting like whatever crazy stuff that they were posting on that IP address. I'm like, dang it, you guys ruined my life. Now I gotta post with my own IP address. Yeah, it was. But yeah, I don't go there anymore. It's just it is like, I think that it just faded away.
Like I'd just rather spend my time making evergreen content that'll help people, as opposed to like, oh, I'm enjoying myself looking at dick butts or Wojax or whatever there. It's like, oh man, I'm laughing, but what am I doing with my time, dude?
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great. So what do you think about this pump? You think that we're in the bottom? You think that we bottomed? That's what everybody wants to know, right? We bottomed? We bottomed, right?
Bottom?
I mean, obviously nobody knows, and this could be like everyone always hopes that, ooh, I got in before everyone else thought it was also the bottom. But it usually means that that's not it. And and it's always this time it's different, but it's not. And then, you know, The only thing that's like different this time around is there's like we're in that raising rates period, which makes me think we would dump even more, but we haven't yet. So that's why I'm like, the difference in this time is a bad thing. So we're more likely to go further down than ever, not up forever sooner, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
I don't either.
For the only bullish thing I think right now is that we are getting closer to PulseChain, and Richard is getting like some big hitters on like streaming with them. And I'm like, yeah, it's he's
you
getting
said
out
too,
there.
Hexo. It's like follower count, communities in general, influencers in general for the community has gone up quite a bit too.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it, we stayed at what 3 cents or like 3-4 cents, 5 cents, like probably like what 4 months, 5 months. And so all of those people that we onboarded in there, they could have been dollar cost averaging in, and now they're like, oh my gosh, it's going up, and now they're starting to FOMO their or not the profits.
They're gonna have to sit through some dumpage, is my guess. But everyone's talking about this 140K Bitcoin coming out, 270Kers, possibly more with Ross's coins. So how is that hitting the market? Not gonna cause issue.
I think but
people think it's being front run and it's not gonna come out. That could happen too. And it's like
maybe they're saying they're going to.
They'll just delay it a year.
They've been talking about the Mt. Gox coins. I remember from I think it was 2018 that they were saying that.
But they did drop some in that year. Like they dropped the 40K.
You're right.
40,000 of them and Bitcoin Cash.
That's true.
So
they did. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
But we knew this was coming eventually. It may get delayed. Maybe it's like, Ethereum 2.0 always delays. That merge thing's coming up. That's interesting. We could talk about that.
Yeah. What do you think about the merge, the 2.0?
I was surprised to hear that. I guess it could have just been obvious, I guess. But Richard doesn't ever talk about it, probably because it's similar to his world's largest airdrop. He never brought it up that, this could be a possibility. But it seems like it may happen. I'm sticking with probably proof of stake chain, if you ever have to decide which one, because that's the one Vitalik is leading and stuff like that. It's going to get the most development. So that's an extra set of free coins on some chain. Who knows if it's safe to use or anything like that. But
that's true.
Yeah, it could be an extra doubling of coins. Who knows how much they're worth, though? That's something we'll have to find out.
I'm hoping that ETH 2.0 comes out, switches to proof of stake in probably early September. And then November, December, when all of the hype was gone from Ethereum, then PulseChain kind of releases, and then it's kind of like just a new chain. You get it, because I think that's one of the things is like the hype has been killed by the 2-week, 4-week predictions, to where it's like, well, you killed the hype. Now nobody's like, because if Richard came out today, it was like, okay, guys, we're launching in 2 weeks. There's gonna be some people out there that are gonna be like, right, bro, right.
I saw something that made me feel so bad about people who took that prediction so seriously. People in the comments were like, I took off work for this week or this day or something. I'm like, oh no. And then it was
like May 15th, I took the whole week off. It's like, great, you're smart.
I feel bad, but
took my whole family to a trip.
But oh man.
Well, that's one of the things I said, like, it's crazy because I asked last night on Twitter, what are you going to do to celebrate PulseChain release? And some people were like, I'm retiring. I'm doing this. I'm like, guys.
Selling instantly?
I'm not sure that, well, it's not only you're selling instantly, but you don't know what the price is going to be. Like, even if you put $50,000 into it, it could start out at $10,000, guys. You have no idea what the price is going to be. Well, like we said, when the adoption amplifier came out, $10,000.
I mean, I
that's
guess
pretty close to zero.
USD, it's technically could be $0 right away.
Well, yeah.
But we've had $0 this whole time.
People are going to be bummed. Yeah. People are. I guarantee.
The good thing about the sacrifice, though, is it did kind of get some people to take some hex profit or other profit earlier in the market cycle where they got more for it. Technically,
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
But I guess
I don't think that. Like if it pumps, I'm not saying that these aren't going to pump because PulseChain might pump, PulseX might pump. I have no idea. I'm just saying, like, if people are already celebrating that, it was just like the Hex adoption amplifier when it came out. People were like, "We're rich, we're the richest men in the world." And then it comes back, it's like, "Oh, geez, yeah, I forgot."
I'm going to Walmart right now.
And then it went down for months.
Yeah. For like what, 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
And it was like, oh, okay, cool. Now we're getting a pump. But yeah, it was a while. Well, it was probably 3 months, and then the Wise token dude started.
He sold his 150 million. He's like, oh, I already made 2.5x, even if I end stake all of this early. This is not working properly. I already got double. Yeah, dude, the USD gains are great. Why would you sell that thing that's also paying you the thing that goes up in USD greatly? You're sold.
Did we talk about this before?
That guy would have been the richest.
Oh, he was, dude. He not only did he was said he was the top 6 person in the Hex at that point, and he staked 150 million. He missed out on the big payday. He missed out on all the interest. So he would have had three probably 400 million Hex. And he he would be 2.5 years past his stake right now. So he'd be, because he staked
all the airdrops too.
And all of the airdrops. So he would have about 3 more years, and he has about, of Hex stake, and he would have probably 300 or 400 million Hex, and whatever the price, at 50 cents, that's like 200 million dollars that he could have had, but he sold it for 80 grand.
But instead, he was able to create a token that lost everyone money. Right. So there's an upside to everything, right? Hexo,
just not that chart. Just not that chart.
Oh my gosh! He also got the thing is he got everyone else wrecked too who followed that guy.
Yep.
It's like, it's almost.
I remember all the websites were like flipping. They were like Wise token, and it was like you went to hexinfo.io or something. I don't remember the actual website, but it was like hexinfo.com or something like that.
Oh,
and
you
went to it and it switched to Wise. It would switch it over. He made it so it would redirect a Wise token, and it was just like, oh, I guess this guy switched teams. And it was, dude, like 4 or 5 websites. It looked real bad for Hex. That's why you see the bottom at 0.78 Bitcoin. I saw Satoshis per bit or per Hex at that point. It was like, that was the lowest.
What was that? There's also that one funny clip of that guy. I forget what his name is, but he's basically almost crying in a video saying, I sold my Hex, man. Like, that guy's hilarious too.
He's like, and then it doubled, and then it did another double. It's like, yeah, that's right.
It's gonna be rough. Like, imagine a couple of years from now too, where there's it's that famous Bitcoin tweet where the guy's like, oh man, I sold my Bitcoin at 10 cents and it went to $1, and you're like,
yep.
Or no, it was 6 cents and then it went to like 36 cents. He's like, oh man. And then it went to what? 69,000 each? You're trolling. Oh, man. That guy is so sad.
Yeah, he's got to be the saddest man.
I'm sure it happens all the time though,
Well, sure Richard says how much would you really have liked it if you were able to stake your Bitcoin for 10 years or 12 years at this point?
Yeah, dude.
Be able to
imagine.
And you gain interest.
Do you think Bitcoin will ever go proof of stake, or will they never change?
Oh.
Dude, they probably don't have the developer power to ever change it anyway. No one wants to work on it. They can't make money on it.
Right. Well, they're like that developer. I can't remember what his name is, but one of their top developers was like, I can't stand the Bitcoin maximalist anymore. I'm done. And so he's stepping down. And not only that,
hey, more power to him.
Yeah.
He's calling them out. Like they're being ridiculous. They're spreading not truth. So that's not helping anyone, is it?
Exactly. Like I like Hex Maxis, but it's also like, guys, there is other things out there. And there's Hedron, there's there's the Maxi tokens. Those are ones that I enjoy right now. I don't get into anything really. I bought some Maxi. I claimed my Hedron. I never bought any, but it's like, dude, there's other things out there if you want to, make money. I'm not, but like I like Richard Hart stuff. It's like he has
a big difference.
I'm like, okay,
yeah, I trust it so much more.
Yes,
the huge difference.
Like those other things are like getting in and then getting out. I'm like, all right, I'm in and then I'm out. It's not one of these things where I'm like, and I don't play like I want what I got into Hex for, because I spent, I don't. How long have you been in K4K? Like in crypto?
Since 2017, I got in.
Okay, Okay, so yeah, I've been in since 2016. I was in at the late 2016. So like, you probably traded. You did the trading game.
Yep, got into like Neo. That AntShares one. Neo. I was trading that Walton chain, dude. Oh, supply chain coin. It's gonna work. And then I see Richard Hardy's like, yeah, supply chain. That's never gonna work. Here's why. I'm like, oh, why don't I know these things? Following the wrong people.
Never gonna work.
Yes.
But then you find the right information and you just stick to it, and then it's success only from then on.
Yes. Exactly. And so like that was one of the reasons why I gave up the trading games because it was like I spent 2 years of my life and I came out with the exact same amount that I had at the first of the 2 years, and it's like, so what did I do here? Oh, I just lost 2 years, and 2 years of my life also watching Tone Bays every single flipping morning.
Your ears must be broken now.
I didn't know you watched that.
He's got some information, right, guys? It's like, give me that information.
You're like, Hex Nurse, how do you feel about me getting a steak dinner with this man?
No, you got a steak dinner with him?
Did. No. Crypto Coffee did though. So if you want to give him shit,
I think I've heard that story. That's so funny.
I always give him shit. I'm like,
I love Crypto Coffee because he'll openly just come out and say it. Like, I did it.
I think this is just it's even more reason that we should be broadcasting more often, you know, because why did we have those problems? We didn't find the right information. It wasn't abundant. We need it to be abundant out there. Not, well, there's this little niche. If you find this guy, he's the only guy talking about it. That's Richard. But now that we have like hundreds of streamers, maybe like that have made content like that, that can scale. That can
like Richard's
global adoption.
Richard's interview with Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort's like, well, who else should I be listening to? And it's like, who else do you recommend? You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm not sure.
Yeah. He basically just says check the facts, and it's true.
Yeah.
Right. You know, he's like, there is more nuance to even that because some of the facts you get aren't full because they delete stuff. So
yeah,
exactly. You go on that Mike Alfred. I don't know if you know how Mike Alfred.
I've trolled him too. Because
so he
told all his.
There's a whole Telegram. Oh yeah, he's on Telegram. They have like a Telegram influencer watch or whatever, and it's like if he starts deleting the tweets, like it pops up on this Telegram. It's like so you could see all of his tweets that he deletes, and it's like got my mom in with $10,000, and it's like at $50,000 Bitcoin. It's like, yeah, bro, you're disgusting.
Oh my god!
And he deletes it, and it's just like, bro, Mike Alfred is a scum.
I don't know how people can do that. Just be like, I'm gonna go and delete everything every other day because I'm wrong all the time. But people like they
keep showing up.
Own it.
They only see the correct stuff because they don't know there's more lies hidden behind.
Right. It's just like own it. I bought Hex and I was like, Hex at 10 cents. That's I was like, this is what everybody thought when it hit 10 cents. It was never going below 10 cents. But I didn't say you better get in or anything. I was just like, I bought some Hex at 10 cents.
And you were happy with your purchase at the time.
You mean you didn't get your mom in with $10,000?
No. Well, that's the thing is like I get people in and then it's like, oh gosh, what did I do? Because then it's like you see, because I did get some people at like 10, 11, 12 cents. And it wasn't like I was
can go even higher for me
pursuing them. Yeah. Well, it's like I wasn't pursuing them. They pursued me and they're like, hey, I'd like to get in. And it's like, okay, but these things can go down. I have, and now you get a phone call. Hey man, what's going on with the Hex price? It's like, please stop. I don't know.
Open the door, Hexo. I know you're in there.
I have a cousin who basically texts me probably now it's like once a month. It used to be more often, like weekly. Now it's once a month. And they're like, and he's on PulseChain. I'm like, he's still a public figure, like he's talking about it.
Yeah.
The devs say it's longer. Like, what am I? I don't have super crazy insider Richard information. Plus the devs, when it's done, they're going to tell them at least they're working on it through the bear market. That's the best time.
Exactly. Yeah. People don't realize like this is the best time. And if you want a good looking chart, like we could have released last year and guess what the chart would look like? PulseChain chart would look like just down, you know, like not saying it won't go down when it comes out or anything like that, but most of it, years after it's going to be this. Instead of the whole down for an entire year. I don't think that it'll be we'll see a bottom and then
bottom off. What we wouldn't want is like if this was bull run right now and you see everything else popping off and we're just not released, not getting any of this retail exposure because everyone's just getting into other things and everything's running away. But when everything's dumping, can't dump from zero.
It's still very entertaining, especially if you still believe in your project or your product that you're involved in. It can be a very entertaining time to be around in the crypto spaces during a bear market.
Yeah.
Tell me how it feels, Hexo, this time around in this bear market versus the last one. This one is way better, isn't it?
Right? I would bet
because I'm in Hex. But the last
so much better mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is some things that are scary that, like, you know, there's always that looming SEC government regulations, but that was in the last one too, where they're like, we're gonna freaking come after everybody, and then you're like, oh my gosh, but then bull market, you know, then it's like, I think it's really that kind of
gains.
Well, and then like that usually is the bottom, I think, is when the government starts coming after everybody, because like then it's like, okay, there's not much FUD left, and then it goes up from there. I'm not saying it's gonna go up right now, but like in 6 months time we could get an actual pump to bigger, you know. And I think that we are more correlated to Bitcoin and Ethereum than people like to say. I think that, you know, when all of the crypto markets start pumping, Hex pumps even, you know, more, but it still pumps. And it's like, so when people are like, yeah, Bitcoin, I hope it goes to zero and stuff, it's like, nah, dude, you want everything. Like, who cares if other people are making money?
Yeah,
like if you get to make more money or just money, like, what do you care if somebody else fails? It's like, I hope everybody, you know, that makes money, I don't care who makes money, I want my thing to go up hard. But hating on somebody else's thing isn't going to make your thing pump harder, because it's like they all kind of move together. Not saying they can't decorrelate, but
it's true.
Scammy.
But yeah, I like the improvements they're working on, because the way I understand it, what the devs are doing is they're moving some of the code outside of the EVM so that it's not using up basically block space for the validator rotation.
Right.
And that computation. And so there's less overhead in the blocks. So you actually get more real transactions, and you don't have that risk of, at least it greatly reduces the risk of kind of having a pause network. Solana.
Right.
Solana. So because, you know, if it gets full and the blocks are full and it can't update the validator rotation because blocks are full, like, that's not good. So I think they're fixing that, which is good. I like that.
Right.
And they're fixing the slashing mechanism and everything so that rotation works properly. And then we always 3-second blocks, perfect, flawless.
Right.
As we come to expect.
People want them to release it, which, you know, there could be a timing aspect to it. But if it really is all, you know, all the things that he says that needs to be fixed on it, it's like, I would rather it be working like Hex than like a Solana, where it's like, oh, sorry, we got to shut it off, guys. You know, and especially with how much hate Richard gets. If we have to shut, like, Solana, it's like they shut it off all the time. Nobody even cares. It's just like you get these mainstream influencers, like, you know, they don't even talk about it. But it's like, if Richard Hart's blockchain breaks down or they have to shut it off, dude, influencers are gonna jump on it, and he knows that. I think that he knows that people, you know,
if it doesn't
take advantage of that
perfectly. If Richard does anything imperfectly, they will burn him at the stake for it. Like, just because they
don't even need it. Yes, they don't even need that. They are already trying to burn him at the stake with everything else, and they can't find anything other than,
if they can't find truth to burn him with, they use lies. So we've had that for a while now. I just literally poked my eye instead of rubbing my eyebrow. Okay. Oh my gosh,
it's all right.
I love that BitBoy basically exonerated Richard in a way in front of his whole audience. Where he's like, I've never thought you were a scammer. What do you think your biggest misconception is? And it's like, dude, I've been being honest businessman my whole life. No one has had a bad deal even. And it's just like, there is no victims. How you calling this guy a scammer? Like, who's been victimized? Nobody. Celsius, who's the victims? There's thousands of them. Like, it's a totally different thing. And everyone who's on Team Mashinsky should bow down and be like, oh, Hex guys were right. We were wrong.
Called it.
But they don't do that. They're like, oh, where's version 2?
Oh my god, did you see it? Celsius is pumping right now too, and it's like, dude,
are you
oh wait, do they actually have a version 2 coming? I was joking.
I don't know if they are. All I see, like, I got tagged in like
a
sell short squeeze message, and I was like, what in the world? And I saw the freaking chart. It's like from $1.50 to like $3.50 right now. I'm like, wait, people are still buying Celsius?
That's
like,
crazy.
you guys, yes, it's an exit pump, exactly.
Well, Luna,
hey, Bob the guy, thank you for the $5. In March, the Univision code flips to open source, and we wouldn't have to slim it for V2. Any thoughts on that? Yeah, I think that overall, he probably will.
Is it March or May?
Well, either or. I think that after that happens, like, he's probably already gonna he's gonna fork the Uniswap code anyway.
It's on his list.
It'll just automatically be popped up. I liked version 2 a little bit better because you had to have equal parts to
I
your,
like it. I like it more.
Yeah,
I do like it more.
You can't use if you can't. Yes, for price appreciation,
I think it's
V2
better.
is where you want, guys. Like V3 kind of like you can kind of set up the limit orders where you can put a bunch of hex right at the top, and then it's pretty much a limit order.
Yeah.
And with V2, you have to put both sides. So you have to put USDC and hex. So you if you don't have the USDC to put up there, then you're like, well, okay, whatever. You have to sell some hex or buy some USDC, or excuse me, buy some hex with your USDC to pair them up. So I like V2 a lot better, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think V3 gets like more efficient, but then you have to become a more advanced player in like that space to be getting better results than everybody else. So it kind of starts to push out average users into like, oh, you're not a supermarket maker guy. Guess you're not making money on V2. It's going to be all like I've seen bots where on V3 someone makes an order and basically it never even hits V2. It only hits V3 because they're just more efficient. They just fill all liquidity there and they just basically throw their buy into someone's sell and they eat up all the liquidity, so they get all the trading fees. Nobody else gets any because they're running like MEV bots so that the miners put their transaction a little bit higher and then their thing actually gets executed and you get nothing as a V2 liquidity provider. So
I don't know.
This is
I like
liquidity providers, but for us, if you're just holding coins, it doesn't really matter that much for you.
I mean, it is kind of the cool ass for price appreciation, like you said. It's good for like if you want to actually put in limit orders instead of doing a market sell and stuff like that. Then it's well, for me, that's how I've used version 3. I'm like, oh, this is cool. You can only have one-sided liquidity where you can put in instead of market and sell in it.
Plus, when there was only V2, you could easily calculate like, oh, what would the price be at if this amount of money goes in?
Right.
Ooh, look at that number.
Yeah.
Someone in my Telegram in Pulse Theory Telegram where we like talk about like we don't talk much in there, but when we do, it's about like higher level stuff. And the one guy was like, oh, how much money does it take right now? I think he asked on Thursday, so it might be different with the price now. Like, how much dollars does it take to get hex to $100? And it was only 420 mil.
Dang.
Like 420 mil, and that's for a 1500x plus from here. So, so it's not. So 1500, yeah. So 420 mil to get it to that.
Can you imagine? Richard,
yes,
I think that what is the
1500 times your money?
What is the Pulse chain? What does the PulseX sacrifice wallet have sitting on right now? I think it's like 300 million.
It does have like, I think it was 273 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing this up?
What happened to? Does it have? I thought it had 600 million in stablecoin. Did it have it in USDC or something?
All I see now is 278 million. That's all I see. Maybe
because I thought at one time it had. At least maybe it was amongst both. It had 600 mil stable. I thought he said that before.
Are you going to PulseCon K4K?
Yeah, I actually just got tickets yesterday to fly in. So, yeah, so I'll probably be there 4th through the 10th, I guess, is the plan.
The whole. Have you spent that long in Vegas before?
I went to the Hex conference.
The March one. The one in March.
Yeah, Matty Allen's second one, I guess. I don't know if he did the first one.
I don't think I've ever spent this many days in Vegas consecutive. What's up, Matty Allen?
Yeah, so it's 200. I don't see anything else. So it's $278,915,000 in DAI, and then there's like a $1.2 million in ERC20.
Oh, maybe. What about an ETH? Is the total like ETH plus?
Ether value is only $70,000. Yeah, they only have 35 ETH in that wallet. I mean, it could have been
somewhere.
Somewhere.
Where did the ETH go? Well, no expectation.
Here we go.
Oh man, dude, Richard in the United States, isn't that a big deal? Like,
I know.
Even Eric thought he was making that bet with Richard. He was like, $10,000, you'll never go to the US in the next. He even said like 2 years or something like that. I was like, I was like, Richard hasn't come to the US. Maybe he's afraid, because I know like Arthur Hayes, the BitMEX CEO guy, like when he came to the US from like Singapore, they arrested him immediately, but he was running a leverage exchange. So and they have like really shady stuff. Like they're trading against the people who they can see all the account information. You're getting traded against by professionals who can see all the other data that you can't. You're never gonna win trading margin in your life.
Well, and they could set where it's just like, okay, we'll liquidate this guy, and then we'll just go up on the other way and liquidate the other guy. It's like, damn, dude. It's super shady. It's super shady.
But yeah, he's here, and and you mentioned Belfort. He at the end, he asked him, "Hey, you have a contact list that you think I should talk to? Because I can make a big difference if I get my voice out there." And the guy's like, "Yeah, buddy, let me give you my list."
I know Nelk Boys, which I guess are pretty big. I've never watched the Nelk Boys, but the Nelk Boys, Logan Paul, dude, that would be Logan Paul would be crazy, like crazy.
Richard sitting in the studio, that'd be so outrageous. Love it.
Yeah, well, and like I think that the impulsive Logan Paul's, I've never watched it, but I think what I've heard is it's the biggest podcast out there right now. It's overtaken Joe Rogan's. Yeah,
no way.
Joe Rogan's was bigger. Yeah,
they need Richard on. Let's be honest, they need Richard to save those people, because like, you think Logan Paul's leading you to success? Doubt it.
You're telling me those Pokemon cards aren't appreciating in value now? The market is busted. Like the dude, he has a chain of a Pokemon. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, isn't it like a rare one? That's like it was the most expensive card. It was that or something.
Yeah, it was like $1.3 million, and then he's got all of the NFTs and his stuff, and it's like, yeah, he needs Richard to like,
save his audience,
smarten him up a little bit, I think. And it would be great if he did, because it's like it's beneficial for everybody. I think that Richard kind of talks to these guys, because you could even tell with Jordan yesterday, where he was kind of like, oh yeah, he's kind of get that like aha moment a little bit when Richard talks, because he's like, okay, this guy knows his stuff, and he's actually made it.
He's willing to listen.
Because most of these guys, I think, come off as scammers. Like you talk to some of these guys. I mean, the only one that I can see that doesn't come off as a scammer, well, two of them, is Charles Hoskinson and Vitalik. And even Charles is just like, he's a boring little lad.
Hoskinson?
But
what is he even? Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah,
everyone just like praises him, and he kind of just sits in a room and talks about crypto all day, like, but doesn't make people rich, I guess.
But it's crazy because they have all of the big influencers. You look at Altcoin Daily, they talk about ADA all the time. They talk, BitBoy talks about ADA all the time. Like all these guys, you go into the polls on Twitter, and like, remember the poll when it was Charles Hoskinson, Justin's son, Richard Hart, who's the best founder or something like that. And it started out with 4,000 likes, and this was already, it's 20 minutes long. Or it's been a poll for 20 minutes, and it's already got 4,000 likes for Charles Hoskinson. And then it was a week-long poll. So like, it was crazy because Richard just kept gaining, and Richard won by the end of it. It's like, I wonder if these are all just bots that are just like, whenever Ada posts. Because then you look at the comment section, and there's one or two Ada posts,
true.
And that's it.
And the rest.
And it's like, where are all these guys? Like, I don't ever see any Ada shills except for the big influencers. Other than,
what my theory is on these high follower count influencers who get everybody wrecked? Why do they have so many but no followership? Like whenever they post anything, they're like, I got 1 million followers, got 100 likes on that post. It's like, I think it's because they churn out people in their community, and they don't come back, but they didn't unfollow, so they just have all these followers, but not real people that stick around and are engaged in the community or helping. It's like, they're just wrecking people, and they don't come back, but they don't take their follow with them. So it's
that's why sad. You see, well, that's why you see meme token shills, like, altcoin days leads or whatever. They go to different communities, pick up, the 10%, 20% of their community, and then they go to the next community, the next community, the next community. And like you said, they don't unfollow. And it's crazier that in Hex that we have so many people that actually follow, because it's like, we're actually legit people instead of these people that are going to different coins and trying to pick up off of all these other things.
And we were accused of being a bot community early on. The absolute biggest community with like, do we have the most influencers? I guess if you call us that, YouTubers or content creators. But we're not well known yet somehow.
Right.
But have the most real people behind it. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm like. There has to be something going on. It is strange. I don't know, like, because you don't see a straight ADA salesman, like somebody that's just like a group of dudes on Twitter. They're like, hey, come watch my ADA stream. Or
it's because there's nothing really to talk about. They don't have anything going on.
That's true. Well, I mean, you could say that about Hex too, but there's at least something going on.
We got PulseChain.
There's no.
I know, but even when PulseChain comes out, it's like you got at least T-shares, you got payouts, you've got drama. There's always drama, like charts,
do all-time highs.
I don't think that people are that like loyal to their coins as much as Hexkins are.
True.
Well, we have to be loyal because we are staked for 15 years. So it's
like we did the 15-year blood sacrifice, didn't we?
Yeah. Right. I ate a lot of chicken for this.
The day when we got the chicken, when we had to shove it up the goat's butt and everything, it was crazy night.
Dude, this time is flying by. How has it already been an hour?
Oh yeah. Oh dang, it's an hour. Well, we usually do it for an hour because usually people start trailing off. So. But dude, thank you so much for coming on, man.
It was such an honor. I don't even know if I thanked you on stream, but I thank you behind the scenes or whatever. But thanks for having me on. I was surprised you messaged me back. What was I? I think I was like liking or retweeted something you did. Oh no, I made a video of who was on your show that gave you like the best compliment, the truest compliment ever. Who was that?
Which was it recent?
Yeah, it was just. You messaged me like right after I posted the tweet, so I figured it was a really well thought out thank you basically for being that awesome general for the Hexikins.
Oh yeah, the uplifting vibe. Was it last week? Was it last week?
Yeah, I think it was
last week. I'm like mixing people.
We had Mr. Corey Investor.
Oh yeah, it was Corey.
Motley Investor.
Corey Costa. Yes, it was Motley. It was Motley.
Okay, I think it was. Yeah. And yeah, he had great words to say. That was a great stream. Loved it.
It was a good one. Yeah, Molly.
Corey Investor's song is sick, by the way. You guys hear his new song?
I haven't heard it. I was gonna play it today, but I forgot that we were doing because I usually play it before the thing. So
play it as the outro.
It's a good one.
Well, I just don't have it downloaded, or I will.
It's a good one.
Oh, by the way, the Bondsley boys. The
Bondsley boys.
They lost today. They lost. The curse is on them. We put a hex on those boys.
Put a hex on them.
Nagabo just did some work on them.
I was so sad to hear, that they acted like that. Like they got a great sponsor, paid in full, something that can actually improve their lives if they researched it at all. But instead, they like cherry picked some comments of a community, like not even real community members, I guess. And then we tried to make Richard look bad when he was actually for the other side. They just cherry picked a comment that looks like it could be construed poorly, and they're like, "Oh, sexist or homophobic." It's like, dude, he's for these things, not against.
Yeah, he even said like, "This is how Saudi Arabia treats their LGBT people." It's like that's not good, is what he was trying to get at, but they're trying to take it out of context.
And the Hexikins donated like thousands to their food drive,
the food bank,
unnecessarily. Like that wasn't part of the deal. We just did it.
Just came up,
I thought that was so impressive. I was like, oh, wow, Hexikins are the best. And how do we get treated? Kicked to the curb.
Right.
Did they even get their money back? Like they paid in full. I didn't hear about money coming back. That's a super scam if they did that. Oh, thanks for the money, but we think you're homophobic. Bye. Like what? What is that?
But you can see it happening. It's crazy because like anytime we try to sponsor something goes wrong. Something goes awry.
You mean our race car like doesn't have a fifth gear?
Remember the first race?
This just in, guys. The NASCAR car just finished right now. Yes, it's been a couple months, but
they had to push it.
I could not believe that we got lapped on the final round, and we were a whole lap ahead. The guy messed up. It was set to succeed, but somehow we were in the slow lane or something. That was ridiculous. The car was just a failure.
He's like, just pass me, just go,
go around.
Go around. He's got his freaking blinkers on.
Hazards.
His hazards, yeah.
He's
got the windshield wipers going for some reason. It's like,
oh my god,
cut it off.
I could not believe that. It was like a movie moment of sadness.
It was.
I think we'll have our come up. We'll have our come up though. We'll have a win in the future. That's just like the beginning of the movie where you're like, oh yeah, bad, but then gets great at the end. You know.
I agree.
So K4K, where can people find you? Where can people find you? Show all of your stuff.
All right.
Full show.
You can find me on YouTube. I do have a site coming out soon, but it's not ready yet, so I guess we won't talk about that. But I got a Telegram, t.me/Pulse Theory. It's high signal to noise. Don't come in there and troll or ask normal questions. And then, because there's like normal chain, like Pulse Chain Com for basic Pulse Chain questions or wallet help or something. Then we got K4K Crypto on YouTube, K4K Crypto on Twitter. I'm K4K Crypto everywhere. I'm on Twitch too. I only like streamed a little bit there yet, but same on TikTok, K4K Crypto, Instagram, K4K Crypto. I got everything. So now there's also a Reddit and a Discord, but they're being built out, and a Facebook group. So they're all K4K Crypto related.
One question I have for you: what does K4K mean? If you want to divulge.
Well, back in the day, people would joke because my video setup was so bad, like I had bad internet speed. And so people thought 4K stood for like 4K quality. Yeah. But then I'd have like bad internet. So it'd be like blocks. And they'd be like K240p, more like it. And so, but really I originally created it because I liked, let's see. I liked K4K Crypto because it had the same amount of syllables as like Richard Hart Win.
Right.
And so I was like, well, if he liked that amount of syllables, I'll do that too. I'll just make it my own. And then my name is Colton, but I spell it with a K. So it's K4 Colton. So people can remember how to spell my name correctly, I guess.
With a K. It's with a K, bro.
It's K for Colton. But yeah.
Well, thank you for coming, dude. We had a great time, and everybody go subscribe to him. Go check him out on Twitter and YouTube, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place as always.
Awesome.
See you guys later.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Yeah. No